Hey, what's up guys, just Ash here and I am back with your regularly scheduled Friday viewing. Today, I'm reviewing Deadpool 2. The Infinity War review that I mentioned in my last couple of videos is definitely going to go up sometime soon though. Also, this is your one and only spoiler warning because this video will spoil the plot, Easter eggs, jokes, pretty much everything about Deadpool 2. So don't watch this unless you've watched that movie. So, Deadpool 2 is pretty entertaining right off the bat. It starts by making a snide jab at Logan, and then proceeds to show us Deadpool killing himself in a fiery explosion. The action then jumps back 6 weeks to explain how we got here, and it feels like the film is gearing up for some non-linear storytelling much like the first one, however this is the only time that this happens. Basically this section is just to set up Deadpool's motivation for the film. It shows that he was going to be starting a family with Vanessa, but unfortunately she is murdered by one of the marks that Deadpool left alive. And this leads to Deadpool's attempted suicide, after which he sees a vision of Vanessa in the afterlife. After all this, Colossus then arrives and drags Deadpool's body pieces, I guess you'd say, to the X-Mansion to recover, and then inducts Wade as the newest member of the X-Men. Now, there is a really funny cameo here of all of the different X-Men from the actual X-Men franchise, but I didn't quite catch who was there at the cinema, so let me know in the comments below. I saw Quicksilver and Beast, but I'm not sure who else was there. Anyway, on his first mission out as an X-Man, Deadpool causes an incident at an orphanage, which results in getting himself and Russell Collins, aka Fire Fist, arrested and put in power-suppressing collars, and then promptly thrown in the icebox. And then, to make matters even worse, Cable shows up. In a nice bit of misdirection, it seems like he is after Deadpool at first, who spends most of this action sequence trying to get away from Fire Fist. However, it is then revealed that Cable's motivation is actually to kill Fire Fist, because in the future, an older version of Russell Collins has killed Cable's family. This action sequence is absolutely amazing. It hits all the beats to keep you entertained. It has some absolutely gorgeous sound design, and there are some very entertaining exchanges between Cable and Deadpool. All of this ends when Wade forces himself and Cable out the side of the mountain-based prison, leaving Russell behind, but not after he heard that Deadpool basically doesn't care about him. This leads to Fire Fist making friends with the biggest guy in the icebox after following a piece of particularly bad advice from Deadpool. And now, with Deadpool at the bottom of the mountain with his skull caved in and nearing death again, he sees another vision of Vanessa, who basically convinces him to save Russell's life. And thus begins the most entertaining portion of the movie, in my opinion, the gathering of the X-Force. And at the end of this, X-Force consists of Deadpool, Domino, Shatterstar, Zeitgeist, Bedlam, and Vanisher. I think that's everyone. Oh, and Peter, who has no powers, which is why he's so forgettable, but is also one of the funniest characters in the X-Force, so, you know, swings and roundabouts. The group attempts to skydive onto the convoy, and of course this goes tragically and hilariously wrong, and actually leads to my only complaint about this movie. Basically, I'm really disappointed that they wasted Shatterstar, who is the biggest joke character ever, on such a lame joke. It amounts to him saying, "I'm better than you at everything," and then proceeding to be absolutely terrible at what he's doing. But there was an amusing joke at Rob Liefeld's expense and an absolutely amazing cameo in this sequence, so I guess I can kind of forgive it. So, Deadpool and Domino, who are the only people left alive after this skydiving incident, make their way to the convoy, and this action sequence actually shows off beautifully how Domino's luck-based powers work. It is one of the best filmed action sequences I have ever seen. I really appreciate the fact that they didn't do any annoying or distracting shaky cam. It was all very clear and very cinematic, despite Deadpool's complaints. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I love Zazie Beetz as Domino, and I really hope that she is featured more in Deadpool 3 or X-Force or whatever they are doing next. Anyway, Cable shows up because of course he does, and this leads to another fight between Deadpool and Cable, which of course is full of witty quips and is generally quite entertaining and funny. But the convoy gets destroyed, and Fire Fist ends up releasing his new big friend, who turns out to be the Juggernaut, which is absolutely fantastic. I was totally not expecting this. I love the Juggernaut. I'm so glad that they didn't reference anything to do with Vinnie Jones or a certain meme that was going around, because X-Men The Last Stand sucked, and I feel like this Juggernaut is one of the best adaptations of Juggernaut I have ever seen, and I want it to keep going. And because of all the commotion that Juggernaut causes, both him and Fire Fist escape to go and kill the headmaster at the orphanage where Russell grew up. Now this is when Cable reluctantly joins X-Force and the team is complete for now, I guess. Hopefully they'll add a few more characters in a later movie. They all go after Fire Fist and try to stop his gateway murder and save him from a life of, well, murdering people for a living. And this ends in yet another fantastic action sequence. Juggernaut is held off by Colossus, who's helped by Negasonic Teenage Warhead and her new girlfriend Yukio, who is adorable. I love her. Domino uses her luck to go and rescue the other children at the orphanage, as this also turns out to be the orphanage where she grew up, which is again just another showing of her luck-based power, I guess. And this sequence does not end well for the staff of the orphanage at all. Meanwhile, Cable and Deadpool have gone after Russell, who's Fire Fist. I don't know what I've been calling him in this video, but Russell and Fire Fist are the same person. Please bear that in mind. Basically, he's gearing up to kill his old headmaster. Deadpool's trying to talk him down, Cable's trying to kill him, but he does give Wade 30 seconds to try and save Russell's life. Of course, this doesn't work. In fact, it doesn't work until the very final sequence where Deadpool sacrifices his life for Russell, and of course this is all filmed in a very cool, very Zack Snyder-y, slow-mo kind of section, which is of course lampshaded by Deadpool because of course it is, he's Deadpool, fourth wall breaking is what he does. Then this ends with Wade dying, and it's actually quite heartwarming until he decides to drag it out for God knows how long. But it does turn heartwarming again when Cable uses his final charge on his time-traveling device to go back in time and save Deadpool's life. This then causes us to see a sped-up version of the final sequence, which is, again, hilariously in keeping with what Deadpool does. And it turns out that Cable has saved Deadpool's life with a skee-ball token that Deadpool gave to Vanessa at the start of the movie, which I didn't mention then because I've only remembered it now, and that's pretty much it. Deadpool lives, Cable's family is saved, and X-Force is a thing. Yay! So overall, Deadpool is actually a pretty entertaining movie. It's got some great action sequences, the characterizations are all fantastic, and I really like the humour. In fact, I'd probably say it was better than the first movie. Not by much, but it's definitely there. I also want to mention the performances of the main characters, but in particular Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, Josh Brolin as Cable, and Zazie Beetz as Domino. All three of them bring a really likeable chemistry to the screen. They really play off one another very well, and it's very entertaining. I would recommend seeing Deadpool if you like Deadpool, that's a given, or if you just want something a bit different from your superhero movie. If I had to rate Deadpool 2, I would rate it 8 out of 10. It would have been higher if they hadn't wasted such fantastic joke characters on such a lame joke. But that's it for this review. Let me know what you think about Deadpool 2 in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And as always, join me next Friday at 8 for the next video.